A Democratic state senator in Rhode Island has been arrested and charged after he was caught on camera allegedly keying someone's car. And the whole thing might be over a "Biden sucks" bumper sticker. Police say Joshua Miller was caught on surveillance camera footage keying the vehicle that had been parked next to his car in a parking center in Cranston, Rhode Island last week. The car's owner and passenger told police that they heard a scratching noise as they were returning to the car after shopping. That's when they saw Miller next to their car gripping a single key. The passenger asked Miller if he keyed his car. Miller apparently quickly denied it and walked away. The owner called police. A few hours later, they confronted Miller, and over the course of a number of interviews, his story, let's just say, evolves. The whole thing captured on police body cam video. This is the first conversation.
I'm investigating a crime, okay?
Okay.
All right.
If it's a maniac who yelled at me in the car next to me?
They weren't in the car next to you. There was no one in the car.
Yeah.
There was no one in the car.
He was blocking my way, saying I scratched his car. I didn't scratch his car. I'm a state senator. I think he recognized me. I think he's one of the gun nuts. He called out my name. I never told him my name.
Miller would then claim a group of people were allegedly stalking him because he sponsored a Senate bill which looks to ban the possession, sale, and transfer of assault weapons. He then took it a step further, telling a different police officer the victim was making threats against him, even name-dropping the chief of the department.
So Colonel Winquist knows that I was stalked by these guys.
Okay.
Because I'm the sponsor of assault weapons legislation.
Okay.
They actually patrolled my house.
Do you recognize this gentleman that
I thought he called my name. Right?
Okay.
Because the sticker's on the back of my car. I thought he said, "Hey Miller, did you key my car?" Because I was concerned he was one of these guys, right, that stalked me, I kept walking.
Okay.
Well, that part of the story unraveled pretty quickly after Cranston Police Department determined that Miller had never reported any of those threats to Colonel Michael Winquist or to any other member of the department. And after reviewing the surveillance camera security footage, which corroborated the victim's story, police then went to Miller's home to question him again. And this time he finally admitted to keying the car, but suggested the victim dared him to do it.
As soon as I opened my door, he started saying, "Hey Miller, what are you going to do?" Right? You know, he already started on me as soon as I opened my door.
Right. And then, which guy was that? Because there was two guys.
Yeah, I don't know which guy.
But that still wouldn't explain why he keyed the car.
Why would you key his car?
Listen, he was threatening me already.
There's a video.
Okay, he was threatening me already. Whatever you want me to do to make it, easiest for you guys and everything.
Did he bang your car with the door or something before that? Or why would
No,
you key?
as soon as I came out of the car.
You just got mad and keyed his car?
Because he was already screaming at me.
All right.
But the car owner's mother believes that Miller, a Democrat, might have been unhappy with her "Biden sucks" bumper sticker. Miller was charged with vandalism and malicious injury to property. Joining me now is Ted Nesi. He's the politics editor and investigative reporter for our Nexstar affiliate in Providence. He's been covering the Rhode Island State House for the past decade. Thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. First of all, just give us a little bit of a backstory. How big a deal is this guy in Rhode Island?
Well, he's like a medium-sized politician in Rhode Island, I would say, Dan. Right? He's not one of the leaders of one of the legislative chambers, but Josh Miller is, he's been up in the state Senate for 16 years. He's a chairman of a key committee, the Health and Human Services Committee now. Just last year, he actually flirted with a run for Congress. One of Rhode Island's 2 congressional seats opened up. So he's certainly fairly prominent, and he's had controversies in the past, but of course, there's nothing like seeing body cam footage of a state senator shifting his story over the course of the day about keying someone's car. That is going to be a head turner under any circumstances.
And do most people in law enforcement and others believe that the motive here was the bumper sticker?
Well, of course, as a reporter, I want to be a little careful about how much I speculate, but I will say I think the tenor of the discussion on Rhode Island very few people think, first of all, his story didn't stay the same with the police over the course of the day. So it's hard for people to take seriously the idea he was being yelled at and then got mad at that, but then later said they knew his name, but the people say they didn't know his name. So it is hard not to see the bumper sticker as a key motivator. And I should say, too, one of the reasons we haven't heard more is because Miller is refusing to talk and his attorney will not comment.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.